Welcome back. It's SFR for Season 18, Division 2, Round 4 at the legendary Suzuka Circuit, the only figure 8 on the circuit. Suzuka demands rhythm and bravery, the fast-flowing S curves and the raised edge diagonals, the patient test of the hairpin, the slingshot through spoon, flat R 130R, and the big stop in towards the Casio Triangle chicane. As well, high lateral lows means tyre wear bites hard around this track, traction out of spoon and clean exits out of the pitch straight as well, and the side most overtakes in towards turn 1. It's going to be a thrilling race around this circuit. We've seen plenty of occasions in the past history as well in SFR where we've seen it come down to the wire plenty of times, as well as we saw in the past, I think, between Oliver and Jarvan fight out for the final lap of the Grand Prix in Season 16 as well, all those seasons ago. And in Season 17, it was Jarvan who won the Grand Prix after a fantastic race with MDJ picked up a 3-second penalty when he was leading as well. A safety car came out early doors as well. But we got a few cars on the circuit then. We've got some action out here tonight, and hopefully this will be a enthralling race as well, because that's what we want to see around here in Suzuka. Last time out in China, it was President Elite who stunned the field with a fantastic win for Haas, as in Mills binds up the big score for P2, and Atlas Coppo grabbed his first podium in P3. Lord Daddy Boy salvaged points, while early leader Melnus had a tougher night as well. The standings tightened and twisted as well. In towards Japan, Emil leads but on 69 points, chased by Lord Daddy Boy and Melnus too, and Martin is fourth ahead of Surge, with Kluslat and Scani right there too. There are 16 people here tonight as well for this race, so we still got some good attendance, and some hopefully as well we get to see some good racing action. I'm going on board with Lord Alem. He is the first one out on the circuit, so let's see how he performs as he uses the EOS down the main straight in towards turn 1. Should be flat out through turn 1, then that's when you gradually lift off and brake for turn 2, but a bit too wide there. As you can see, the car just struggling to get on the power, just delayed there as well, just bogged down as we head through the S section, through these S corners, whatever they're called. I actually don't know what they're called, is one in the first sector. Now coming through Dunlop we go, up towards turn 7, now flat out through this particular part of the track, coming towards the end of the first sector, flip the car in, carry the speed all the way through, then brake hard in towards Degner 2, hits the apex very nicely, pick up the curb on the outside as we head down in towards the hairpin, straight line the braking, down to the gears we go, takes a wider line going there as well. You can really see the difference, the variations of lines people take through there as well, as drivers trying to find the absolute limit of this track as we head towards Spoon Curve. We go now, here we go towards left-hander, and there is his teammate right in front of him, giving him a nice slipstream down the straight. So both Aston Martins working in harmony, and Klaus will get out of the way right now before 130R. Hopefully he does, maybe stays in front of him for the whole of it, but gets out of the way right now. So nice slipstream there from his own teammates, good coordination as we head down towards the Casio Triangle chicane. You can see that he took a lot of curve on the first part, really unsettled the car as he races his way now towards the line. He goes, it's going to be a 28.9, and this time he gets a nice toe off the back of his own teammate, as Klausler, as we head down towards turn when he pulls out the way right now as Langford goes quickest, but as you can see, the Aston Martin of Lord Alem had to go on the grass. So Langford now goes towards first place. He finished fourth, didn't he, back at the, I think it was, the Chinese Grand Prix. Now Zenem goes quickest with a 27.764. Does the Racing Bull driver, and we know Zenem in the past who has been, well, quite quick in the past, but as we all know, and as I hate to say it, he does suffer with a lot of spins. His teammate is still his teammate from the previous seasons, which is Emils in a second place there, so he sets a 27.869, and currently it's a Racing Bull 1-2 so far, of course, at Honda's home Grand Prix, where we saw Isaac Hadjar finishes at the top 8 as well for that race in Japan this year. Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bull, of course. But Langfall, who has been demoted to Division 2, but I think this is where it suits him the best as well, because he has struggled a lot recently in Division 1. So I think he feels a lot more home, a lot more comfortable in Division 2, and hopefully he can progress and show his true pace as well, because a bit demotivated. I know how hard it is when you're in the top of the tiers, and seeing all those quick drivers, thinking how can I do it myself? But Pabelli is the Div 3 champion from last season. He's up into P4, now racing for Division 2. It has been a slow start to the season, it must be said, for Pabelli. Hasn't really kicked off for him in style so far. Hasn't picked up a podium nor a win yet as well. So he'll be looking to try and bounce back and see what he could do. He's currently 10th in the championship ahead of Stank as well. Stank is in P6. Of course, he was fighting for wins and podiums last season in Division 3. Keith is up into P7. He was also a Division 3 driver last season. A former Div 2 champion as well. I think in season... I want to say end of season 14 or end of season 15, definitely one of those. But I know he wasn't in season 16 because it was Mansell versus Burmeister era. And what an era it was as well between season 16 and 17. I love that so much. I do miss it as well, that battle as well, the intensity of it. And he did get in the way, but the Kickstarter is not on a flying lap. That's Lord Danny Boy. I hope it is anyway. Yes, it is. So no repeating there from Keith. But so far, it is Zenimus on pole with a 27.764. As the two Racing Bulls are the only drivers inside the 27. It looks like he's going for it again. So it's his second push lap on the same set of the soft compound tyres. Both Racing Bulls opted to go for more than a couple of laps on the same set. As we head down towards the hairpin, we go. They're taking a late apex through there. You don't want to be too tight on the apex because obviously you don't get the traction you need as you want to go out wider there. They called it the Kamui Kobayashi hairpin as well because he said some sensational moves down the inside too. Perez failed too. We're seeing some great moves in the hairpin. I do love to see a lot of moves in the hairpin because if you get a good release of Degner too and try and find a way past on the inside, outside, in towards the hairpin, and you see some really good battles going towards Spoon, where we saw Sebastian Vettel versus Max Verstappen back in 2018. And Zeno is up by a few tenths in the middle sector. I didn't quite catch what it was as Stank goes up into P3 in the Red Bull. Look at that, a bit of movement there from the Racing Bull as he slides at the corner. But he's in the pit lane, and that is his flying lap done and dusted. As you could tell, there is definitely a lot more to come from two Racing Bulls because they're absolutely flying so far. Alas Copo in the Kickstarter, who didn't score a podium, which is surprising me in season 17, but he did in season 16. So I'm quite surprised that he hasn't. As in Mills goes quickest, we were warned about him, and it's a 27.674 who goes quicker by over a tenth of a second of his teammate in P2. As Alas Copo now progresses towards Spoon Curve we go. As he just lifts off there, no need to brake, as he has a quick dab on the brakes in towards the second part of Spoon Curve, leans on the curve on the outside very nicely as he powers his way past on the back straight we go, as Lord Danny Boy now takes the reins and he currently puts himself on a provisional pole, but his teammate however is on a flying lap too. So Danny Boy and Copo looking really good. The two Racing Bulls are looking good. Stank's looking really good too. As here comes Alas Copo towards the line. He goes. Let's see what he could do towards the line. It's P4 for him. And he's currently ahead of Stank, who's up into P5 there in the Red Bull as well. We've got a few people who have yet to set the mark. As Molnus is currently on a flying lap so far as he heads down in towards turn 1. Of course, a former Division 1 driver. And he was a regular point scorer too, but he's been demoted down into Division 2. So I'm not quite sure if he's happy about that or not. But let's see how he does to this first set. It's a constant change of direction. Quick left, right, left, right, left, right as well. As you want to carry as much speed as you can. But don't overdo it, of course. It's just so easy to just stay flat out. As you think that you can take it flat out, but you can't. Because the car can't deal with it. Maybe the back of the car will step out on you if you take a bit of curb as well. Or maybe massive wheel spin. As we head down towards the hairpin then, just the slowest part of the track we go. Then back on the slot immediately. He scoops the car up really nicely too. I know a lot of people can suffer with traction on the exit as well because they're eager to stamp on the throttle, but unfortunately they just lose traction as we now head towards the left-hander. Double left-hander, and I did find this difficult in the past, but I do like it. It's just the nature of the curve. It just flows really nicely as well. Got a good rhythm for that particular part of the track. And now we could just think about the long back straight before we head towards the chicane. 130R is flat out. 130R, yeah, 130R is flat out. Is it 130R? It is. I think I get it mixed up with another track for some reason. I thought we were at Belgium, but we're not. Don't know why I thought that. I think I got a bit confused with the names. But here comes Molnus towards the line. He goes up into P5, a solid lap time there. And he goes ahead of the Red Bull driver and his own teammate of Langfell, who used to be in Division 1. But here he is. He is 3 tenths up in the sector. So a promising lap time so far from the Norwegian driver as he now negotiates the final two corners as he got a racing ball right in front of us, taking a bit of curve on both entry points there to the triangle chicane. As here we go towards the line, can he get himself inside the 27s? He just outside of it as he puts himself up into P5, just ahead of his new teammate of Magnus. I think Magnus is Norwegian. Let's have a look. Yeah, look at that, top 8 Norwegian. So Norwegian are currently, the Scandinavians are currently occupying the first 4 rows of the grid as Lord Brad the top G, who had up and down race back at the Chinese Grand Prix, it must be said, as well. He has got some problems with pace, but sometimes as well he can make mistakes left, right, centre as well. Same with, I think, Daniel, Electro Dan, sorry, as he now heads towards the top of turn 7. Pabelli goes up into P5 in the Ferrari, as we watch Lord by the top G with a 32.5 as he heads down towards the second deck. There we go. Look at that. It's just so quick as well. You've got barely any time to think. You need quick reflexes as we head down now towards the hairpin. Heavy braking zone, heavy traction zone. It's just very important to get on the throttle without losing the back end of the car as he heads now towards Spoon Curve. He did finish in P7, started P7 as well. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong person. Where did he finish at the Chinese Grand Prix? Did he retire? I think he did retire because he got caught up in that crash, didn't he? I think he made up so many places at the start of the Grand Prix after starting outside the top 10. Then he crashed. It was out of the Grand Prix after he got caught up in an incident. Dylan Vince has retired where Carlos Sainz crashed back in 2017 in his last race for Toro Rosso. Look at that traffic galore here. So hopefully nobody gets in the way, and they don't either. A bit hesitant going there. Had to make a little bit of adjustment to turn out the corner to make sure he didn't cut it. But a foot towards the line. As we head towards the line, we go P12 only at 29.2. So that's not promising, unfortunately, for Lord by the top G. He's struggling hard here in Suzuka. Not everybody's favourite cup of tea, of course. Not everybody's favourite track as well. So hopefully that's a much better lap time in his next attempts. As Zenom heads towards turn 2, I'm so interested about this driver because he intrigues me all the time. His progress as well. Like, I think he races the races like it's a qualifying lap. He just pushes the boundaries of the track. He just pushes way too hard as well, as he doesn't really adapt to the race situation he's got. Maybe the setup as well is not helping his case. Maybe he's got his setups tweaked to more qualifying and his tyres overheat quickly. His tyre wear goes as well. Serge goes up into P5 in the Alpine. So decent attempt from him. He gets ahead of both Ferrari drivers as well. As we watch Zenom dip downhill in towards the hairpin, back on the throttle once again. It's just a very good exit indeed from the Racing Bull driver. Let's see what his reward is, as he makes his way towards Spoon Curve. And let's see how he takes it in 5th gear. He was in 6th, down to 5th, and now back on the throttle once again, using all the chock on the outside. I think Joram spun there last season too in the race, as he had a late season resurgence, didn't he, after his flurry of mistakes. He's up by a few tenths of a second as well is Zenom, so he's looking very good so far. Can he keep it nice and tidy in towards the chicane? He does. Oh, a bit of a moment out there as well. A bit wide, and I wonder, is this going to compromise him? And it isn't. It did. Cost him a few hundredths or maybe a tenth of a second, but he's on pole position, and that'll boost his confidence. And also, what would help it is he knows there's more time to be found than that. So now he's got a pole. He knows there's more time to be found. He's got the confidence to go in the next one, in his next flying lap, to try and improve. Here comes his teammate Mills, who's down by a few hundredths in the middle sector, goes a bit deep in towards the first part of the chicane, scoops up very nicely as we get back on the throttle once again. Here comes Mills as he makes his way towards the line. It's P2. Look at that, 666 there. Farming Mills, calling the devil, is he? As he quickly puts his racing ball into P3. And let's see what other people could do as well. Magnus is not on a flying lap on the driver tracker here. Serge isn't either. He did go up into P6 a few moments ago as well. We've got a few outsiders. Keith goes wide, but keeps it within the white lines of the track as well, as he continues his way down towards 130R. Let's see how he does in this middle sector. 1/10 up. This 1/10 though needs to be a bit more than that by 6-7 tenths, because his nearest competitor is Stank, who's just ahead of him by 7 tenths of a second there. So Keith just trying to find more time if he can. It is so difficult around his place. As here comes Keith towards the line now. He goes up into P11 or stays where he is for the time being. So I say that Lord Alem, who won the Australian Grand Prix in season, when was it? Season 17 or 16? But he controlled the race beautifully as well after starting the ultimate strategy and was chased down by a few people, but stayed ahead of him as well. I remember that race for Australia. It was his first race and his first attempt. But after that, he hasn't really looked very strong as Stank goes up into P8 in the Red Bull, just behind Probelli. So a few people in the pit lane. Alex Copo is out there on a set of soft powered tyres. I wonder, did he make a mistake? He hasn't validated. Is he going for a second double outlap? It seems. I don't really see many people doing double outlaps these days, because obviously the tyre wear is just too high and delicate, so you don't want to be taking too much life out of your tyres. So maybe did he make a mistake in the first sector, hence why he's backed off and he's going to go for it once again. Let's find out. The qualifying is ticking down then. It is currently Zenom who's on pole position so far for the time being with a 27.627. A few hundreds quicker than Lord Danny Boy in P2. By the way, great qualifying from Lord Danny Boy as Copo. So what's going on here then? It's another triple outlap, I must say. So outlap, another outlap, another outlap. So I'm not quite sure what the strategy is here for him. So he was starting his, I know he hasn't taken too much life out of his tyres, but every single, 4 or 5% as well, tyre wire is so crucial and so key. Every single lap counts, it must be said, even if you're not pushing, the tyre wear counts as well. So will he be compromised later on his final lap when he realises that the tyres just can't take it anymore in the final part of the lap? I know it sounds silly as well when you're going very, very slow and tyre life is still being taken off as well. That's the game for you as well. The softcore power tyres is just so delicate and fragile as well. You just need to treat them carefully every single time. I think Mills is currently in the flying lap. He is 3/10 up. This is going to be pole if he can keep it nice and tidy. Into towards the chicane he goes. Yes, he does. Here comes the racing ball as he powers towards the line. It's a 27.555 and he's on pole by over 2/10 of a second there, as behind him Serge is starting another flying lap in the Alpine. Good qualifying by the way from Serge as well in the Alpine. As who's that? He's crashed. Lord Bladder Top G is out of qualifying and he's crashed as well in the most bizarre places. But of course, he is struggling around here in qualifying too. So Alex Copo is going to start his qualifying with about 3 lap hold set of soft compound tyres, which won't do him any favours at all. And Mills coming towards the end of the first sector. But of course, he's just completed his flying lap, so he won't be going for another one. The two Kickstarters on a flying lap. Every single driver out there so far except Sonic Hawk, except Zenom. Zenom stayed in the pit lane, so that's quite intriguing there as well. So he's not coming out once again to set another flying lap to try and get a pole. But so far it's a Racing Bull 1-2. Can anybody dethrone Racing Bull? That's the question now. The Kickstarter to the first sector. Look at that. Danny Boy up by 2.5 of a second. He's absolutely pushing the Ferrari of Probelli, who's off there. I think in the second deck now. Is that Probelli? As Malnus goes up into P4. It's not Probelli. He's in the pit lane. He hasn't improved. It was Martin who found himself in the gravel there, as Probelli has retired from the session. Here comes Danny Boy as he now scoops through into the Spoon. He goes then, just lifting the throttle off there as well, making sure he keeps a nice, good momentum going towards Spoon. No hesitation as well through there. And let's see how his middle sector is as well. He's got Mercedes right behind him too. So I wonder who that is. Is that Langfell? Lord Danny Boy is up by 2.5 of a second. Langfell always likes to pick up a nice cheeky slipstream, but when it comes to dirty air, especially this part of the track, it will affect him. Here comes Danny Boy towards the line. He goes. Let's see, is this pole? And it is only by 0.005 of a second there. Can he get any closer than that? He lost time in the final sector, but Langfell's in P4. Where is Malnus? He's not on a flying lap, and I think that could be qualifying commenced as well, as we see these two not on a flying lap. So that is it. Qualifying is done and dusted. It is Lord Danny Boy on pole by 0.005 of a second. And Alex Copo, what happened to him? So what was the reason he had to go do those extra laps on those set of soft compound tyres? Because he has to improve. He was the one I was looking for. But for some reason, he did about 2 or 3 outlaps, it must be said as well. Taking unnecessary wear out of his tyres and didn't have the peak grip on his flying lap, did he? Unfortunately, so that's it for qualifying. One Saab at the back, one Saab at disadvantage, the other one with the lights on pole. Let's see how this race transpires. It's going to be an interesting race. President Elite is not here tonight, unfortunately. Finished P7 at the Japanese Grand Prix last out. at season 17, as he won the Chinese Grand Prix last week. Alex Copo secured his first podium of the season since season 16 in China, and he will start in P8, the land of the rising sun, a place where championships have been won in the past. 11 championships have been won here in Japan, the latest one being Max Verstappen, but there are your qualifying results there. Norwegian, look at that, Norwegian dominant except Serge, the Indian, in P6, and Martin, the Scotsman, in P10. It's a Norwegian it's a Norwegian domination here as well, but there are your results. Great qualifying from Serge. Started P17 last time out at the Chinese Grand Prix. Finished in P12. And here in Japan, sorry, he will start in P7, I believe it said. So Prep 1 says Danny, Emils, and Alex Copo. So let's see if that does happen or not. It'd be quite interesting to see Danny Boy win a race, actually, because that's not really happened for a while, has it now? Was in Division 1, he struggled so badly, got demoted into Division 2. I think he did win a race in Division 2 last season, if I'm not mistaken. Just one? No, he didn't, actually. He only had one podium, that was in Austria. He made his debut in Imola, but in his second race in Division 2, season 17, he finished in P2. It was a great race, great solid race. So, he hasn't got a win just yet here in SFR Division 1 or 2, but he'll be looking to do that and try and break that win streak. He's got a lot to prove, has Danny Boy too, because we've seen him in Division 1. He struggled so much, especially with Langford too. He has done some practice before this race, first in a long time. Well, practice makes perfect, as they say, so hopefully that practice pays off. And yeah, I don't have a lot of time and motivation to practice, and every time I go into a race, I struggle, and that's why I lose motivation, because I don't do practice, I don't understand the setups, the track, etc. So I should start doing practice myself to get myself much better and comfortable as well. This year, at the Japanese Grand Prix, it was a boring race. I literally don't remember anything from Japan except Verstappen winning. It was a fantastic race from Verstappen as well, keeping both McLarens at bay. I don't understand how both McLarens bottled that, because both of them were quicker than Verstappen, of course on pure pace, with McLaren being better than Red Bull, and both of them having the cards on the strategy too, as 2 cars versus 1. But Verstappen still held on to win the Grand Prix as well after a fantastic drive. What can Zenham do? What can Emils do too? 2 drivers who, I must say, have good pace, but when it comes to longevity, endurance, consistency, that's where they lack. So let's see, can they make it up? Can they rectify it? Have they changed their approach going in towards the Grand Prix? I wonder, because we say it every single race, don't we? Zenham had his first win, which was back at Las Vegas, if you believe it or not, as well. That was an incredible race. I don't think he won on merit. I think it was a post-race penalty when Zenham won. I think it is anyway. It's a long stretch back as well. He's had plenty of spins. Same with the Mills. Just played with bad luck, but hopefully that changes around. Emils only had 1 podium as well last season. No wins to his name either. But Emils is doing such a great job turning things around, and hopefully it's in his favours, because he's the championship leader. He's got 1 win and 2 podiums, and already better than last season too. He's only about 21 points away from his overall performance points in terms of getting points from last season too. So he's not too far away, and we're only 3 rounds in. Only 3 rounds in this race. Now 4 rounds. So what a change it's been from struggling to now championship leader, fighting with Danny Boy and Melnus in the championship. Melnus as well has turned it around, finished first place as well back at the Belgian Grand Prix. It's a shame, because I love to commentate for division. Oh, I thought it was no formation lap, because some leagues don't have formation laps. But I would love to stay for commentating Division 2. I've always found Division 2 more interested in Division 1, Don't tell Div 1 I said that. But Division 2 has always caught my heart and my attention. But unfortunately, I just don't want to do 2 divisions anymore because it's just too much. For time, it takes a lot of my time away. Of course, I've got to do a lot of like research, information as well. And I want to be doing other things as well. So I do love commentating for Division 2, but it's just too time consuming, especially what happened last season too, when like I had to commentate for almost 3 divisions. Didn't have to, but I put a lot of work in, and it really, just ruined the way I commentate as well. You got to remember a lot of things as well, especially in different leagues I commentate, because not just and I'm pretty sure most of you know that I'm not SFR as the one I just commentate. I've got other leagues too, so I've got to remember a lot of things from different leagues, and I want to do only 1 division now. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm not commentating for Division 2. I'm only here to try and help until somebody or Energy Dan finally has the game and can take over. I do miss you guys. I miss you guys a lot as well, because this brings back so many memories. The peak, it was like 15, 16, 17. I just miss those seasons because it was so memorable as well. It seems like nostalgia now. It seems like a glimpse of the past, like it was years and years ago, but it only happened last season too. It just brought so many memories as well. Seeing all the battles, the fights, the twists and turns in the races as well, literally in the Grand Prix. What's going to happen down towards Turn 1 is going to be an 80th Senna and Alan Frost situation when they crashed in Turn 1 in 1989, and then did it again in 1990 in chicane, or maybe the other way around. I can't exactly remember what way around it was, but it definitely happened twice in 2 different occasions. But it's going to be headed down towards Turn 1 as well. We've seen plenty of times where people get caught up in Turn 1 incidents. Fernando Alonso, massive as well. Roman Grosjean towards Turn 2 when he collected Mark Webber. And Max Verstappen in 2019 when him and Charles Leclerc were passed out for 3rd place. But the last car on the grid is Dylan Vince. He's approaching the line, or his grid slot. I'm about to find out what happens in this race. Here we go then, the lights on the gantry. All drivers focused. And we're underway for the Japanese Grand Prix. It seems that Mills gets a really good start there. He's alongside the Kickstarter as we head down in towards Turn 1 to go. As the Kickstarter stays in the lead, the 2 Red Bulls are fighting side by side. They make contact as well. The 2 teammates making contact in Mills and ZM2 get themselves in a bit of a tussle. And now here comes Mercedes up to the inside, but he spins out. He's spun. It is, who's that? It's Langfall. He has spun around, unfortunately, after making contact. And Stiank is up into P4 as well, ahead of Melners. What a horrible start for Langfall. I think he put his nose in a place where he shouldn't be, but the Kickstarter's in the gravel also. The McLaren goes in the gravel too. Got a few people on the first lap of the Grand Prix getting themselves in all sorts of bother. Who's that who just went straight off? That's Dylan Vince, who just went straight off there, and he rejoins in the second degner too. So unfortunately he got the track as well. But Lord Danny Boy, what a dream start. Lord Aylem and Pavilion scrapping away as once again he goes off in towards the gravel when Danny Kvyat crashed back in 2015 in qualifying. And what a shocking start there for Dylan Vince as well, as I think Lord Aylem just got ahead of Pabelli. But the 2 Racing Bulls, they've tripped over their own shoulders. They've tripped over their own shoes, unfortunately, and they bumped Mills going towards Turn 1 and Turn 2. I think they should have backed out of it and focused on Lord Danny Boy, because the gap is 1.5 seconds, as Lord Danny Boy has broken away from second place there, and also Zenom is struggling to get himself in DRS range of second place there too. As we head down towards the chicane, we're ending lap 1, as now the DRS will be open on the next lap on the next straight as well. So the gap is 1.9 seconds between Mills and Danny Boy, and this is a dream start for Danny Boy as well, because I thought Mills had the opening going down towards Turn 1. I thought he had the gap to go down the inside, but his teammate Zenom was going to go all the way around the outside, but contact was made, of course. Hopefully nobody has lost the end plates or front wings between the 2 Racing Bulls. There they are then in second and third place. Dylan's wheel has been playing up, and it looks like he hasn't fixed it, says John Mobes. Oh, what a shame there for Dylan, who's in P16, once again struggling. So yeah, his race is over before it started with wheel issues. And of course, a wheel around here is so important as well. Left, right, always constant change of direction as well, in towards the first sector in the S's. But back towards the front of the field, the gap keeps extending. What's happening there? Sonic Hawk has gone for a spin, as he has. There he is in the wall. And where's that? That is the second deck, I believe it is. It is. So he's going for a spin, unfortunately, and he has dropped down into P15, and a neutral wing is necessary there too. His teammates up into P6. He's outside the DRS range, but much better race from Serge this time round. Of course, a podium sitter is Serge back, I think, at the Belgian Grand Prix. It was Australia, sorry. The Australian Grand Prix, so got muddled up there. But look, you see that Mills is under massive pressure already in this race. He's got a huge pressure from his teammate down the inside, but he almost cuts him off. He cuts the corner too. No love lost there between the two Racing Bulls. And here comes the Red Bull of Stank around the outside. They're going aggressive on the two Racing Bulls there. No quarter given. As here comes the Red Bull up the inside or around the outside. And here comes Mercedes there, gets past the Racing Bull as we head down towards turn 1. The Mercedes there gets ahead of Zenom as well. So Zenom drops like a stone. Yeah, I think he had DRS, but no short speed as Melner's got past one of them too. And I thought it was about to take 2 for the price of 1. Wow, the Racing Bulls. This is something we haven't really seen so far, or I haven't seen. Since what? A long time ago? In fact, I've never seen it happen before. But the two Racing Bulls get themselves in a bit of controversy there too, as well. Inter-team battles not going well between those two or whatsoever. And once again, they get themselves in a bit of drama as well. Both Racing Bulls into towards chicane. It was a late move from Zenom there as well. I don't think he was expected it. As Lord Alum up the inside towards the hairpin. He just bounced off the hairpin there, but gets a good launch. He's alongside the RP driver of Serge, who is just outside the DRS range there, as the Aston Martin driver keeps him under pressure as we head towards Spook Curve. Zenom has dropped away from the DRS as well, so he seems to be struggling in the longevity of this race. It's early doors in this Grand Prix, and if he's out of DRS range, it's going to be a tough, difficult task to try and get yourself back in there with the guys ahead having DRS and the slipstream too. But there is one driver who is comfortable, Lord Danny Boy, and Stank is right behind the Racing Bull as we head down towards the chicane we go. It's a battle for P2 going on between all these drivers in the field. As we just saw the Mercedes driver got all scurrily out of the chicane. Here we go with the DRS wide open. As let's see if the Red Bull decides to make a move in towards turn 1. Does he go for a move? He doesn't. He stays behind for the time being. Here comes Lord Alum as he goes past the RP driver. He's up into P6 there. Oh, look at that. The Red Bull is getting super close there as well, as he essentially pushing him through the corner. But Mills is under such pressure as well. Lord Danny Boy is so comfortable. I think this is the most comfortable he's ever been in a race as well. He's never led it well. He's led Grand Prix, but he's never had control like this. I bet he must feel so relieved as well from Lord Danny Boy. The chemical feeling you get when you dominate. I know it's early doors of the Grand Prix, but he's not had a chance to dominate a race. Well, to lead a race for such a long time. Now he's leading, now he's dominating. He gets such a sensational feeling as well, because you're leading and controlling for the first ever time. Maybe it's not his first time, I don't know where Lord Danny Boy races, but in this league, he's never had the chance to do that at all. To just pull away, break away, and not think about the guys behind. I've not had that feeling for a long time either. The last time I had that feeling was like 2020, 2021, my peak times, it must be said, on controller. But of course, Danny Boy, sometimes when you dominate the Grand Prix, you can have lapse of concentration, you can lose focus because you're not under pressure and you got a good gap, you can sit and relax, but you don't want to sit and relax too much. You've got to pay attention at all times because track limits can creep within you as well. Plus, you can make a slight mistake by going out wide, pick a bit of grass or gravel on the outside as well. So you still got to be careful when leading. You can't get ahead of yourself too much. You just got to calm down, focus and relax as well, because sometimes when you're leading the Grand Prix, it can all go wrong in a snap of a finger. I remember back in Singapore, I was leading well ahead, pulling the gap, and all of a sudden, and unfortunately I broke my front wing because I wasn't paying attention, literally. It was like the cocky feeling when you're leading the Grand Prix, you could just sit back and relax, but you can't. And I just misjudged my braking zone and just went straight to a wall, and I was so furious as well. I've done that multiple times because back in 2020 and 2021, I was super quick. Well, not to brag about it, of course, but when I was dominating Grand Prix, sometimes I'd be the devil's advocate on my own shoulders, because sometimes I'll be the one making mistakes and crashing. You know what they say as well, don't you? The only person that can lose the race is yourself as well. And Lord Danny Boy, the only person that can lose himself in the race is himself as well, because he's got a good gap. 6 seconds is the gap between himself and Mills as well, so he's got nothing to worry about unless the safety car comes out. and bunches up the whole field once again. But we're just watching the battle for P2 between Mills and Stank, Melnus, Zenom, Lord Alem and Surge, who's just clinging on to the back of the DRS as we head towards the Casio Triangle Chicane. Once again, it's all about traction, all about getting the power down too. As Keith goes up the inside of Alice Copo, he puts himself up into P11, but he's left the session. So, sorry about that, he just made a move and now he's left the session. So what a shame there for the Williams driver as he drops backwards and down into P12. One kicks out by having a decent race. The other one, unfortunately, in P11 there, Alice Copo, who scored a podium back at the Chinese Grand Prix after a 5-2-4 win against President Elite last week. But this time around here in Japan, seems to be struggling. I'm quite sure what his strategy was in qualifying. It was a bizarre way to go in qualifying by doing 3 outlaps. Usually you don't need to do that many outlaps to heat up the tyres as well. Especially with high-speed corners, the lateral load, the force, the energy as well, the input. The tyres will naturally heat up throughout the course of the lap. Here we go down towards the hairpin. You're going to be very calculated and precise as well if you want to make your move towards the hairpin, because it's a good place to overtake, but at the same time you don't want to do it well out of the blue, because sometimes it can go wrong as well, making contact with your rivals. You've got to be fully alongside and ahead before the corner if you want to make a lunge going in towards the hairpin too. But the safest place to make a lunge is down towards turn 1. As well. It's all about staying within the DRS train in the first few laps of this Grand Prix. In the first part of the Grand Prix, just trying to control the pace, making sure as well you don't take too much out of tyres, because this is difficult on tyres as well. I had a puncher around this track and I really did. Oh, Stank spun! He's in the pit lane! He's in the hill, my goodness! And he's broken his wing too! Oh, what a shame for Stank. Lost traction as here comes Surge. He overtakes him in the pit lane. Gets a 10-second penalty for speed in the pit lane too. So, wow. All of a sudden things change around in an instant as well. So he half spun the car and then he hit the wall. What a shame there for Stank. He was putting pressure on Emils as well. Emils has been relieved, but he's still got Melnus and Zenon right behind too for good measure. It's such an easy place to lose the car as well in the dirty air. Trying to get the throttle. Making sure you brake traction too, but the tyres just not have enough grip, enough purchase there, and he tries to save it. Then he tries to go to pit lane, but he just smacked into the wall. For one small moment, I thought a safety car would have been deployed, because I thought he was out of the race completely, but he just lost his front wing. And small mistakes like that, you think back and think, why did I do that for? But yeah, mistakes like that can be easily done, of course, in racing. He was in such a good position, but now wasted down the P14 on the hardcore pod tyres. So I think it is a 2-stop, because that's a long way to go on the hardcore pod tyres as well. This track eats the tyres up alive, especially the mini pod tyres as well. So tyre management is going to be absolutely king around here too. The benefit for Danny Boy too is well that he doesn't have to pit straight away when these guys do. He can give a few laps as well and extend his mini pod tyres. I wonder now, Lord Alem is in the pit lane, so the first one of the pit stops are starting to happen as he slows down and adheres to his pit lane speed limiter. Sorry about that, I got a bit of a problem there as well when it came to the spectator menu. Klaus as well behind Martinez, but head through turn 2. So let's see what he goes on to a new set of mini pod tyres, which is quite interesting as well. So medium, hard that is. But I think, I don't know what the strategy is, because I've seen before, I've had a race around here a few weeks ago, and some miracle, some people made it towards the end on a setup from mediums to hards. I don't know how, and they're absolute monsters as well when they do that. I have no idea how they can treat the tyres well as well. And some people controller, like for example, on this game, when people control it, it just takes a lot of tyre wear out as well. And a Red Bulls have became a copper down there. Oh, poor Dylan, who's going for another spin. Where Robert Kubica, I think, crashed in 2019, didn't he? In the wall, and Kevin Magnussen did the same thing in qualifying too. In the place where Timo Glock crashed as well back in 2009 in the Toyota, as Alice Copo gets ahead of Klusler. That's an odd place, so I wonder if Alice Copo made a mistake out there. Sorry, I wonder if Klaus made a mistake in towards the second part of Spoon, and the door was wide open. And Alice Cooper said, "Thank you very much, mate. I'll take that place." And it goes up into P7. You can clearly see as well that these people are starting to struggle on these mini compound tyres. So I wonder if any more people will decide to pit on this lap. Nope, they're going to go out there and stay out there too. So they're going to continue once again. I wonder as well, is this a one-stop strategy or a two-stop? Because we've seen a few people pit as well. Stank, Serge and Lord Alem. And who's that gone first spin? Is that Keith? I think Keith spun in the pit lane or something like that. I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but he's in the pit lane now to get rid of his mini compound tyres. It's another set of meds too, so he doesn't feel comfortable taking Haas towards the end at this stage of the Grand Prix. But so far, it's Mills who's second place under massive pressure. Malnus as well fancies another podium chance, but Lord Danny Boy, look at him. The only thing that can go wrong for him, if he makes a mistake, and there's no reason to. There's no pressure whatsoever. Just got to keep the car on the track. Don't overdo it as well. Don't get too cocky. And don't exceed each other miss. Because if you exceed each other miss, yes, you've got the gap of 7 seconds. But at the same time, though, what if a safety car comes out? Or VSC? What if anything happens to the Grand Prix? Just keep this gap, 7 seconds. No need to push too hard. No need to stress the tyres out too much. And make sure he doesn't make any mistakes as well. The best spot in the house is first place. And under pressure from nobody whatsoever. So he could dictate and control this Grand Prix. He can do whatever strategy he wants as well, because he's got the gap over 7 seconds. He can do a one stop if he wants to, if he feels comfortable. Dylan once again in a spin has lost his wing this time. Not going well whatsoever for the Red Bull driver. It's been a difficult season so far for the Red Bull driver of Dylan. He's currently down in 9th place in the championship. His best races have been Belgium and Australia. But in China, I don't know if he's raced or not in China because there's no results for him there too. So he's finished in the same place twice this season, has Dylan Vince. I think he's good friends with Adams as well. Look at Malnus getting super close to grass on the outside too. Who was it? Who was it in the race back in 2024 when they touched the grass on the outside and almost lost the car? I have a slight memory of someone doing that in actual F1 when they touched the grass on the outside. And was it Alonso? Alonso, yeah, I think it was Alonso back in 2024 when he spun the car on the gravel. Was it in qualifying of the race? I'm not quite sure when it was, but he just missed the touch on the outside on the grass there and just lost the car. Recently as well, I've not really seen nobody. Was it this year? I actually don't remember as well, because my memory, for some reason, my memory in F1 is not that great when it comes to like previous races. But when it comes to years and years ago, I can remember a lot of things for like 10, 15 years ago in the past. But when it comes to like 2022, 3 and 4, I'm just memory loss as well. I literally have no memory. So it's probably because of the modern day F1. Modus is in the pit lane to get rid of his mini compound tyres. Then it's lap 11, and let's see if this is a set of the hard compound tyres to take towards the end of the Grand Prix. Yellow flags keep creeping in all the time. Who is it this time? Who has caused these yellow flags? It's going to be Dylan, who is calling back in the pit lane. So is he going to pit to retire? I'm not quite sure. Here he is in the pit lane right now. Malnus is on the hard compound tyres, so this is definitely going towards the Grand Prix. There is no point doing a two-stop. And here he is in clean air, up into P10. Serge, however, did not get the undercut on him either, so that's quite interesting. 2.1 is the gap between himself and Malnus as well, so it's a shame that he didn't get the undercut on Malnus. Didn't have the pace to try and try and get ahead of him, but let's see how Malnus does then. Let's see if he gets the undercut on Mills and Zenim, who are stretching their medium compound tyres. I barely could take these mediums towards 7 or 8 laps, because these mediums for me were absolutely dreadful. I literally have no grip or pace on this game. My pace on this game is dreadful. I might as well be a tier 3 driver. No offense, because I've scored no wins, podiums or points so far when I've league race. I've become last every single time, and lapped as well. It's such a fall from grace, but unfortunately that's the way it is now for me. I'm going to accept it and move on. If I raced in Division 2, I think I'd be at the back, literally, because I am so slow on this game. Lord Danny Boy's pit in. Let's see if anybody else decides to follow him. Andy Mills follows him too. Pabelli is in the pit lane too. Remember, you got to adhere to pit lane speed limiter as well, because you're coming in from high speed. And that's a nice pit stop there from Kicksauber, who stays in P2. And Zenom is now leading the Grand Prix. Everything is going his way, Lord Danny Boy. Fingers crossed. No commentator's curse. I really hope not. Here comes Lord by the top G, who will get ahead of him. And it's very critical now that Lord, look at this, Lord Alem, Lord Brad, and Lord Danny Boy together. Imagine that, saying those names together in a battle. We've got the three Lords close together, but who is the Lord out of these three? I think it'll be Danny Boy after this race, as Lord by the top G is struggling for grip there in the McLaren. His teammate of Electro Dan is not with him either. Electro Dan also had a mixed race as well. Mixed race. I didn't mean to say that, but yeah, mixed emotions in that race as well, because he was doing really well until a few things happened in the race where it just went really badly as well for him. He finished in P5 towards the Grand Prix, but I'm pretty sure there was more to offer for Electro Dan, because he had great pace, but he got caught in some midfield battles where it just lost a lot of momentum, lost a bit of time as well, delayed his progress. And also the first lap of the Grand Prix, he made up so many places and fell backwards in towards 10th on after the first lap as well, as we see Danny Boy right behind. He knows that he doesn't have to take any risks, no risks whatsoever. He's got the pace, he's got new tyres, and he just needs to make sure he needs to make it nice and clean. There's no need to lunge up the inside. Oh! Zenom gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that is his podium chances, definitely now getting more and more unlikely. But the DRS is wide open, and Danny Boy will take a second place away. And he does. He puts himself up into P2, and nice move there. He knew there was no need to risk it. No need to dive bomb it, of course. When you're stuck behind a driver on all the tyres, you're desperate to get past. You want to do everything you can to get past quickly, but at the same time, you've got to think in your head. Think about the long game. Because I've seen plenty of occasions, including myself, where I got caught up, involved behind people on all the tyres because they've been so slow in the corners. You make contact with them, you break your wing, and therefore ruin your race. It's all about what's up here as well. Mentality when it comes to racing as well. Being patient is key. Consistency is key as well. But he's doing such a good job. I've never seen him this calm, calculated, and relaxed before. This is probably the first ever time Lord Danny Boy's had a dominant race like this. First ever time he's actually got to control a race as well, not got caught with incidents and lose it all. He's genuinely had the pace to break away from the rest of the field, and he's done such an immaculate job so far as the Kickstarter driver. It's a Kickstarter 1-2, of course, but Atlas Copo is yet to pit in this Grand Prix. So Melnus did get the overcut, or undercut, I must say, on Emils and Zenom. He's up into P5 now behind Lord Alem. Lord Alem is up into P4, but of course I think that man is on a two-stop strategy. He's on medium compound tyres that won't go towards them in the Grand Prix, so maybe a second stop is necessary there for the Aston Martin driver. He's right behind Lord by the top G as well. The battle for P3 is looking spicy behind the McLaren driver. He's on those old hard compound tyres. There he is, running his own race behind the top two of Danny Boy and Atlas Copo. I really hope Atlas Copo doesn't do anything funny against Lord Danny Boy, because there's no need to. Atlas Copo does not need to hold up his team whatsoever. Both in completely different races, of course, so there's no need to play any games against each other, as Atlas Copo should let him through when he catches up, because Danny Boy does deserve this win. It's been a long time coming for him. Such a long time in SFR. It must be like seasons and seasons now for him. Of course, he spent most of the time at the back of the field in Division 1 and Division 2 as well. He just struggled. He had literally no pace. He was nowhere. But here in Japan, it's all changed. And could this be the way forward for him as well? Opening more doors and opportunities in the future. The gap is 1.3 between the top two. But if Atlas Copo is smart, he'll let him go, and there's no need to fight whatsoever. Maybe Atlas Copo will pit towards the end of the lap as well to get rid of his mini compound tyres. The last thing Kickstarter need is the two drivers tripping over themselves due to stupidity. But here we go towards the triangle chicane. Let's see if this is an easy move from Lord Danny Boy. You hope so. With the DRS open, he should simply walk past his teammate with no problems at all. Here he comes to take the lead to the Grand Prix, as Atlas Copo will slot into P2. And here comes Lord Alem. He's up to P3. Melnus is well flying past. He's up to P4. Now challenging Lord Alem. Sorry, that's a bit confusing because he got past Lord by the top G, and now he's putting pressure on Lord Alem in front of him as well. It's looking very good. A second podium for this driver, Melnus, who took a long break away as well in the past. He's up into P4 and now putting pressure on the Aston Martin in front of him. Aston Martin Lord Adam will surely have to pit again to get rid of those mini compound tyres because he's done medium. And of course, if you're new to F1, you've got to use 2 different tyre compounds unless it's raining. And so far, I don't see any rain hitting the circuit either. You have seen rain change the outcome of phase. Remember last season in Division 1? I think it was raining too. And who was it? It was Pitbull Turbo who got caught out in the rain because people did hard to mediums. The rain was coming much later as well, and he had started on mini compound tyres and he switched over to the hards as well. Then the rain started and it really compromised him as well because the guys ahead hadn't pitted, he had, which meant he had to do a 2-stop strategy, but it all went wrong for him because he lost his patience as well. Pitbull Turbo literally had no patience and became the main villain in Division 1 last season as well, with all those problems and drama and controversies. Bertamona's now putting pressure on the Aston Martin. You know what, ever since he pitted, he got rid of both racing bulls because it was a Mills and Zenno fighting for a podium, but they're nowhere to be seen so far. And Alam has pitted to get rid of those mini compound tyres. Monos has now been free, he's up to P3, and now he's left alone. What's the race has been so far from the Mercedes driver, and there's more yet to come. And how long is Alas Copo taking these tyres? Look at these tyres, they're dead. They are past their best. Surely got to pit soon because he's close towards podium territory, but he's still going despite being on all mini compound tyres. I don't know how people keep these mediums alive because I am absolutely shocking when it comes to tyre saving. I don't have the pace, I struggle, I slide everywhere when it comes to tyres being old. But yeah, I see Atlas Copa still going on those old mini compound tyres, hoping for a safety car. And so far, no safety cars came out just yet. And if it does, it will change the whole trajectory of this Grand Prix. Oh, Serge gets out of shape in the second Degner there. Car just snapping away in a second Degner. Was it him who caused the yellow flags earlier on in towards Dunlop? It must have been him. It's now a quiet race so far, but Lord at the top G will be under pressure soon from the Racing Bull drivers. He also hasn't pitted yet in this race, going from hard to medium tyres. Here comes the 2 Racing Bulls right behind the McLaren. First up in Mills on the scene. You should get past him in towards the first corner. If not, in towards the chicane. Would he dare go to the inside? He won't. He stays behind. We'll wait patiently for the DRS to be activated to get past him down the straight, which should be an easy task to do so. And it is easy because the McLaren goes off into the pit lane to change his hard compound tyres. He gets a 10-second time penalty too, for good measure. So, ever since the first round of pit stops, or second round of pit stops, it's been split up. It's been a quiet race so far. Everybody's got their own little groups. Everybody's been diverted into different places. And we've got, it's a quiet race so far. Not really the usual hyped up race we see in Japan, because we always see change of leadership. Oh, he's crashed! And after I say that, a safety car has been deployed. Well, perfect timing, actually. He's crashed where Daniel Ricciardo crashed. And I think Alex Albon too, back in 2024, last year. Wow, I had to go put a commentator's curse on it because I just said it's a quiet race, and now a safety car has been deployed with 10 laps left to go in the race. And guess what? Alas Copo in P2 has been benefited this. He's taken those tyres 17 laps, and I dare say the safety car's played in towards his hands. Maybe? Well, I don't know actually, because the guy's behind on hard compound tyres and they can switch over to a new set of mediums. It's definitely helped him in terms of getting back in the race, because essentially he was nowhere to be seen. But now he's been filtered into this race. He's now cemented into P2, and this could be a double kickstart of 1-2 as well. They've got the gap to do a double stack as well. He won't get any time lost in the pit lane either. But the last thing that Danny Boy needs is a safety car. That's the last thing he needs. Safety cars wipe out advantages, and you've got to reset and go again. Hopefully he doesn't spin in the pit lane, which he doesn't do. And Alex Copeland needs to slow the car down now. He does. And so does Monas as well. It's so easy to pick up a 10-second penalty in the pit lane. Well, this is a double blunder for Zenno, because he's got to do a double stack, and also he's got to serve a 10-second penalty, so he's going to lose a lot of time in the pit lane. Look at that, a double stack, and he's got to do a 10-second stop-go penalty. Look at that, it feels like a long time. It feels like a lifetime being stuck in the pit lane for that long. And there we go, we finally get to change tyres then. So, the scenario is that Lord Danny Boy is on mediums, Modus is on mediums too. Alice Cooper is on a set of stock pod tyres. Surprisingly, Alice Cooper got jumped by Monus, but I wonder if that was because of the double start, because there's a bit of delay in there. Even though they had a 5-6 second gap, the two kick Sabres, there's still a bit of a delay in put, so that's probably why Alice Cooper rejoined behind Monus. But it's brought everybody back together, and this should be a sprint race towards the end of the Grand Prix. Something changed in this Grand Prix. Safety car has galvanised this race. It's really spiced things up now, and yet because there's many twists and turns in this race. I haven't mentioned a few drivers, and that is Sonic Hawk in P14. There he is, still racing. Of course, made a mistake in the first lap. And Martin, who's in P10. Martin's run a quiet race in P10 so far in the Ferrari. I don't know why, but I have memories of Martin doing well around the circuit in previous seasons. I wonder as well, I think he's done well in Japan before. I just have that memory for some reason when you have those past memories. But yeah, I think he goes well around here. Currently sat in P10 now for the time being. And yeah, things could change. Things could change dramatically. A safety car towards in the Grand Prix is a recipe for disaster. So get your noodles ready, because this is going to be an interesting race towards the end of the Grand Prix, with about 7 or 8 laps left to go in the race. Plenty of laps for the race to be decided and who will win the Grand Prix. So far, Danny Boy is the one to put your money on, but anything could happen. Anything could happen whatsoever as well. Look at that camera shot. I love this camera shot. It's so nice because you can see the first sector and also you can see the final sector too. I'll take a short break because I've been commentating for such a long time now. So I'll take a short break, grab a glass of water, and I'll be back with you momentarily. Here we go for the final 7 laps of this race. The safety car is ending, and let's see what happens in the second part of the Grand Prix. Is it going to be any drama, twists and turns in towards this part of the race? As we see the drivers file their way through towards the Castro Drago chicane, and Danny Boy, when will he pull the trigger? There he is, right now he goes, and Molnus is under massive pressure. Here comes the racing ball as well, right behind, and the Aston Martin too as we head down towards turn 1. Massive slipstream provided by Lord Danny Boy as we head towards turn 1. Any moves so far? Yes, he is. The racing ball up as a P4. Hits the back of the Kickstarter 2 as Lord Adam gets forced off the road there as well. Down towards P7, he's on the hard compound tyres, so he literally has no grip at this stage of the Grand Prix on those hards. And Klausler is right behind him too for good measure. In towards the first sector we go. But still, it is Lord Danny Boy who leads this Grand Prix. And Lord Alam there on the hard compound tyres will be struggling for tyre temperature Whereas the rest of them, the tyres get heated up very quickly as well as we head towards the first and the second deck. There we go, dip it down the hill. And now, let's see, Melnitz is in a great spot. Does he have the pace to keep up with Danny Boy? Because Danny Boy built up a gap of 7 seconds, but that gap has been wiped down. And now if he can't break the gap once again, he's going to be under massive pressure. It'll be a shame to see Danny Boy lose the Grand Prix. I mean, it'd be nice to see Melnitz win. It'd be nice to see anybody win, actually, because I respect and support all the drivers here as well, because Division 2, always respectful drivers in this division. But Melnitz hasn't won yet this season. He has won at the Australian Grand Prix. Alice Cooper hasn't. He's picked up a podium. Look at him. Melnitz is right behind as we head towards chicane. Surely not going to go for it, but he's in a kick-saver sandwich. Alice Cooper, out of nowhere, has been brought back in towards this Grand Prix. It's a double kick-saver podium so far, and this is good for the constructors' points as well, because they're 11 points behind Racing Bull. DRS has been enabled, but not on this straight. It will happen on the next straight as well. You can see Lord Alem getting pushed backwards as well. Here we go. And that is Langfall side by side with the Aston Martins. We head towards turn 2. Contact. Oh, he ends it in a spin. But all eyes towards the front of the field there between Melnitz, Danny Boy, and I think someone said the soft powered tyres are going to fade away. I think they will. So Alex Copo, Stank and Klausler might struggle towards the Grand Prix with those soft powered tyres degrading so much as well. So let's hope they can keep those tyres alive to stay in the fight for the lead of the Grand Prix. But it's down towards Melnitz and Danny Boy. Melnitz has got the pace to keep up with Danny Boy as well. What happened? Oh, look at that. The gap is 1 second. He gained 4/10 out of the hairpin. And Danny Boy, it has broken the DRS. Wow. Such great pace there. But Melnitz is pushing so hard to get himself back in the DRS. He lost 4/10 of a second, but he's back in the DRS range. Only just though. He needs to use his battery now to get closer and closer towards Danny Boy if he wants a chance to win this Grand Prix. Both drivers obliterated their batteries as they're both trying to get each other out of the DRS, or in it, of course, as we head towards 130R, now towards chicane. Melnitz just stays in the DRS range there as well. They were both pushing super hard to get themselves out of contention of each other's DRS. And now the DRS has been enabled. Danny Boy has set the fast of the Grand Prix as we head towards the main straight once again. There's yellow flags in the background. Is that Martin? It is. He's gone for a spin in towards the final corner. Back towards the front of the field though, where things are starting to spice up. The clouds are gathering in, but I don't think we'll see no rain as Keith has retired in the pit lane. There is 5 laps left to go in this race, and the battle for the lead now is on. Danny Boy has been left alone for the whole race, but all of a sudden a safety car has been brought back into the safety car has been deployed, and it brought back everybody into play. And now we've got a battle for the lead of the Grand Prix 2. Danny Boy looks very mighty in the first and middle sector as well, but he gains a bit of time. So can he do it again? Can he get himself out of the DRS range? 3/10 of a second as well. So for some reason, Danny Boy gets a mega launch out of the hairpin. What's he doing to get that gap over almost a second? It is half a second now, the gap between Melnitz and Danny Boy as well. So Danny Boy cannot break it away from the DRS like he did against Melnitz, or against his teammate as well, against both Racing Bulls on the first lap of the Grand Prix. The gap stays the same. It's not looking good for Danny Boy so far, who was hoping to win this Grand Prix. He was the man who was destined to win this Grand Prix, but the safety car changed the way it should have been. And now the DRS is enabled. Melnitz fancies another win this season. He's currently P3 in the championship. Is the Mercedes driver as well. Danny Boy does deserve this win. I really hope to see him win. At the same time though, unfortunately, these things are out of control. And there's a crash. It's a big crash. A safety car's out again. And who was that? It's 2 drivers who's crashed as well. And they came together down at turn 2. What's happened there? That is so bizarre and strange. Those two are out of the Grand Prix. Another safety car has been brought back into play. Do you know what? Let me get a glass of water because my voice is going. I need to remember to drink water as well because I don't when I'm commentating. So I'll be right back with you very shortly. Now the stage cars came out once again. I will take a short break, and I'll be back with you once again. This is very frustrating now for Mulder's because he wants the laps. He needs the stage car to not come out because he needs the DRS. He needs the laps to try and get Danny Boy, and now it's reduced his chances. So the stage car essentially has helped Danny Boy in a certain way, but we'll see when the stage car comes in what's going to happen. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back with you when the safety car comes in. Take a short break. Well, when the safety car comes in, it's going to be 2 laps of racing, and I don't think the DRS will be enabled on the last lap, but towards the line, which will be quite useless for Melners because you wouldn't have the straight to try and get him in towards turn 1. So it has really compromised Melners, the safety car coming out, and it's really helped Danny Boy. But sometimes when safety car comes out, it can swing one driver's way, then swing another driver's way. The pendulum keeps changing every single time as well. And safety cars are a variable that you can't control. It's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it, of course. It comes out at any time as well. So it either benefits people or unfortunately puts people at disadvantage. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's out of your control, out of your hands. And you just hope and pray that when the safety car does come out, you're in the best place at the right time to it. Alas Copo, however, in P3 will be absolutely buzzing with the safety car as well. He'll be absolutely happy because at one point he was going to be nowhere and towards the back of the field. Then all of a sudden he's up into P3 and in this race. It's amazing how things could change when the click, snap of the fingers there as well. And just a few laps, but we're going to have 2 laps of racing and we'll see if Molnus can find a way past. Oh, Lord Daddy Boy. And Danny Boy, how are the nerves in the Kickstarter's camp as well? Because the pressure must be so high. He knows he's led majority of the Grand Prix. He knows he's got the pace, but he needs to finish the job, which is the most important part of the race as well. Can he do it? I know how it feels to be in first place and have it all in front of you, have it all within your grasp. But at the same time, though, you've got to try and complete the job as well by making sure you're making no mistakes at all. And keep the guy behind you as well. Molnus has all experience but in as well. And he wants that second. He wants that feeling as well of winning more races. So can he get it? That second win of the season? As here we go towards the chicane, and Danny Boy's already controlled the restart in the first restart. Can he control the second one? That's the question. When will he go? And he goes right now. Gets a good launch and restart. As let's see what happens going down in towards turn 1. It is lap 26 and 27 as the DRS will not be enabled as we head through turn 1 and turn 2. Oh, Alice Copo goes off the track and Mills goes through. What a shame for Alice Copo there. And he just went wide by himself. Nobody else caused that, himself as well. You can see him go wide in the first sector. Maybe his tyres given up as well. Maybe he's got no grip on his soft compound tyres. He just played understeered off the track, and now Mills goes up into P3. What a shame there for Alice Copo because he was going to look. It was looking like a double Sauber podium, but it could still be. Oh, he goes off the track again, and in towards Sector 2. He keeps it on the road though, so he must be getting very impatient now. Maybe getting frustrated too as we head down towards the hairpin. He's got Papelli right behind too. Papelli has done a decent job so far in this race. Very decent job indeed. But let's see if Molders could do anything on the last lap. Will it be a last lap attack for the Mercedes driver? As we head through Spoon Curve once again, Danny Boy has got one more lap to survive here in the land of the Riders of the Sun. At the Japanese Grand Prix, he has controlled this race from start to finish, but he needs to get the job done on the last lap. Look at Molders, he's 3/10 right behind too as we head towards the hairpin, or the chicane, let's say. He's too far back to make any sort of move. He locks up going towards there. Maybe it could be a last lap attack from the Mercedes driver. As Zenim's dropped down the order, he's gone for a spin, has he? Yeah, he has, unfortunately. DRS has been enabled. That'll be useless though. There is no point DRS being enabled right now because Molders won't get it in towards turn 1 on the next lap. So it's all about saving the battery because we've seen plenty of times you can get the run out the hairpin towards Spoon Curve, then towards 130R and the chicane. I've seen drivers make a move down there as well, and it has gone well. Remember, 2 seasons ago, it was Oliver versus Jarl for the win, or Burmeister. And I think Burmeister just took it away from it on the final lap on the line as well. It was so close to winning, was Oliver, but I think Burmeister just snatched it away. It's been a very good race. All rain has arrived on the circuit. So we've got something else added to the equation, but it's a bit too late now for rain to impact the circuit. Mills is right behind the 2 in P3. But let's see then what's going to happen towards 130R and to the chicane we go. Molders was super close behind the previous lap. Look at that, 3/10 behind as well. Gaining so much speed and momentum as we head towards Spoon Curve we go. And the rain has hit the circuit. Could this be a desperate last lap attack from Molders on the final lap of the car, on the final corner? We're about to find out. He's a bit too far back to make any sort of impression on the kickstart, but as we head through 130 we go, he's too far behind to settle to the inside as we head towards the Casio Triangle chicane we go. On board for the race leader, this man has led from start to finish. Here comes Lord Danny Boy, and for the first time this season he wins the Japanese Grand Prix. What a fantastic race it's been for Lord Danny Boy, who finally gets glory here in SFR after spending so many races in the dumps and in the dark. The light has finally shined upon him and he finally wins a race. Finally, what a good job from Danny Boy. He'll be absolutely delighted with that one. He had a bit of a scare and a bit of a shock when that safety car came out, which destroyed his lead at the very start of the Grand Prix. But finally he gets some good luck, which he needs, and he finally wins a race. So happy for him. And finally things start to turn around here in SFR2 for Lord Danny Boy. If you wait long enough, something will happen, and certainly something does happen here for Lord Danny Boy. Even though it took a long time, he's still got it. In Mills though, still got a podium, so fair dues to him. And Pabelli finished in P5. Lord by the top G from P15 to P6. Closer, who we've barely mentioned, from 14th to 7th. Lord Aylan from 12th to 8th. Sonny Cork from 13th to 9th. Remember, he crashed in the first lap, didn't he? Or second lap, and still finished in P9, so great job from him. That will do it for the Japanese Grand Prix. That will conclude this race, and I think this will be my final time commentating. Yep, it'll be my final time commentating for Division 2 because I have my other league starting up again after the break. So even though it's my final race here, Division 2 for a long time, I get to see Danny Boy winning, which is very, very good to see indeed. So I really hope you all enjoyed this race, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now, Take care, and I'll be back with you tomorrow night for Wednesday for Division 1 at the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now. Love you all. Take care.